the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that right?
Yeah, that's a saying. Yeah.
Because this is what's happening right now. I'm exhausted.
Are you already? We're just starting and you're already exhausted.
Yeah, all this setup, it's a learning process.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's working. So it is what it is. And the most important thing is that we're connecting and having the conversation.
Right.
Tell me your whole name.
My name is Henry Guillbert. People call me Hank. And in my former band name was Hank Rocket. Back when I was with a band in the new wave era, I went by that name, Hank Rocket. But my name is Hank Guillbert.
Hank Rocket.
Yeah,
Like the rocket.
like a rocket.
Okay. What time are we talking about?
We're talking about the late 70s, early 80s. And the Sex Pistols were out and people like that. We were part of that wave, but in the San Francisco area.
It was good time?
Oh, it was fun. Played at the Mabuhay Gardens. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mabuhay Gardens, but it's like CBGB West. If you ever heard of CBGB in New York?
No.
Okay, that was the new wave bands back then, like the Sex Pistols, the Nuns out here in the West Coast, the Avengers, the Ramones, people like that.
Wait, the Sex Pistols and the Nun?
The Nuns, yeah, that was a West Coast band.
Where are we getting those names?
Just people pick names. Like my band was named the Assassins.
Okay, watch out.
Yeah. But we're going back when I was a kid. I was in my late teens. So,
when you met Danny?
I met Danny when we were in our late teens. Or I knew him because I used to see him walking down the street playing his guitar. And it was like, that guy's he's an unusual fellow, because I'd see him walking down the street. Just he'd have a guitar and he'd be playing it. It was like, and he had headphones on and he'd be playing and listening to himself. So, and then eventually we had a mutual friend, John Gonzalez, whom we used to play in his in-law area. He had a setup for something like this, and we would play. And I met Danny that way.
So it's funny because Danny, we should say Danny is the lead of my band?
Well, he's the one who came. Actually, I hadn't seen Danny in probably 35 years. And one day I was at the gym and the lady there goes, "Hey, there's a guy who's looking for you. He says his name's Danny." I go, "Danny." And she gave me a piece of paper with his name and his number. And it was, "Oh, Danny Baggs." "Oh, yeah, Danny." And so we connected and we started talking. And it's like, "Hey, man, do you still play guitar?" I said, "Yeah, once in a while I still play." He goes, "Well, let's jam." And so that's what we did. We started jamming, and then some of the other folks here we met through basically Dan, because he knows most of these people. You know how Dan is. He's out there around everywhere, basically. And we started meeting, like Paul and Cheryl, who are a married couple, and Dave, and then Duke, our sax player. So we all met through Danny, basically, yeah.
So Danny is a people connector.
Yeah, he's the people connector.
And we should say Danny was my first guest in this podcast, in Broken English. Right. And I met you because of Danny.
Sure. And
I know so many people because of Danny.
I know.
How cool.
Yeah. He's a people connector. He's out there, and he connects people, like you said.
When you met him?
Mm-hmm.
When you met him for first time?
Oh, when we were teenagers.
So you're telling me that this dude, as a teenager, that's Danny, back in the day, was playing the guitar.
Yes.
With his headset, right? Or his
headset, and he had this little, I think, an Epiphone guitar, and he'd be walking up my street and be like, "There's that guy Danny playing his guitar again." And then a couple of years later, we started jamming. So, it's basically how I met Danny. We were probably in our late teens, 17, 18, 19.
That's very sweet that you still connected with him after so many years.
Well, we didn't for so many years, and all of a sudden we connected again.
Oh, I see.
That was good.
Yeah, that's good. I know you guys are having a good time. And I'm having a good time every time I come here and listen to you jamming.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'm saying jamming.
Jamming, yeah.
What you used to do before that? Like, actually, this is one of the reasons I'm creating this conversation. I'm always curious about people.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy differences of people. Like we different. My background is Puerto Rican, so I guess I think different in so many aspects because my culture, my background, and a way of me to learn about life and in general is by getting to know people. So I always said I learn more by getting to know people than actually university or school.
Right.
And I enjoy that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we like each other. Like the first time I met Danny, and then I think you was the second one that I clicked.
Right.
And then I heard you play, and I said, "Oh, you play very cool, yeah." And then we start talking, but we don't know too much about our background.
No.
Are you born and raised here?
I was born in the Bay Area, yes, in Burlingame, South San Francisco area, and I've pretty much lived here pretty much my whole life. Yeah.
How's life back then?
Oh, it was good. We had fun. We played baseball. We played sports. We have mountains to climb. We had, it was fun. Being a kid back then, it was fun. We didn't have much, but we had each other and we had fun. A lot of the kids in the blocks interacted, not like today where everyone's inside, Now we were outside playing all the time, doing something.
That's exactly. Now I'm rewiring my brain.
Yeah.
And something that I'm appreciating is I think less a lot of the time is more. And shame on me because I realized that I was being ungrateful for a lot of. I have like a dark time in my life. Mm-hmm. And I discovered I was being ungrateful. And then I realized why I'm being so ungrateful if I had done so many things.
Right.
And I think the brain is not, at least my brain is not built to digest so much, we can call it dopamine or experiences. So just like you said, back in the days, that was less to do. But I think it were so fun, climbing mountains, and like you said, and we still have those stuff. I think we just change somehow between the line. As society, as a collective society, we start changing. And at least I'm talking about myself. I realized that. I said, oh, wow, I'm complaining a lot about what's going on around. But then I didn't realize that I was changing a lot, not in the positive way.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm doing and enjoying simple stuff like this podcast. I'm enjoying this and recording this because if I made it to my 100 years
mm-hmm.
in my deathbed, I want to just watch every episode and remember all the connections and exchange of ideas that I have with people. To me, that's very important. It keep me healthy
mm-hmm.
and also help me to keep healing. And I feel that I'm being human.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that. Because I know that nowadays, with the kids and with the adults, we do a lot of online type socializing and interactions, and we don't get out and, at least kids, I don't see kids getting out like they used to. When we were kids, kids were always out doing something. Now they're like, it seems like they're in their phones or they're on their computers or they're playing video games or whatever.
You think that's healthy?
Not too much of it. I think you need to have a balance, right?
Yes.
Just like with anything.
I think that's a point, balance. Like, for example, earlier we were talking about Facebook.
Right.
like I cannot handle Facebook. I got addicted to Facebook. No problem with Instagram, no problem with TikTok. I'm not saying that those are not addicted as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, each brain is different. But for me, those digital drugs, that's how I call it, digital drugs, are not affecting me. I can be 5 minutes in TikTok, or I can be 5 minutes on Instagram. But Facebook got me. And I didn't like it. So I had to delete it.
Yep.
Yeah, I deleted. And what I'm seeing is I have less opportunity. Like, my life is getting less interesting because I'm doing less, but I'm appreciating what I'm doing. Right. Like, this conversation right now is just much better than being in my home,
right, on
just
your
scrolling.
Phone, right?
Yeah,
scrolling.
And then I think that kids, the way that they develop in their brain, in the future, this gonna bite. It's gonna bite them, and yeah. So, but I don't have kids.
No, I don't either.
So that's kind of cool. I enjoy that, but I think being a kid in today's generation is gonna be very challenging.
I would think so. Yeah. I don't think it could be as much. I don't know. Maybe it is fun for them. For me, it's like they don't seem as healthy because they're not out doing things, like physical things as much, right? So
you still work out?
What's that?
You work out?
When I was a kid or now?
Oh, now.
Oh yeah, I have my whole life. I've done something. I always keep myself physically active.
What do you like to do the most?
I do a lot of everything. I do a lot of walking. I do weights. I do a little bit of yoga. That's pretty much it. I do some isometrics.
What is isometrics?
That's just, force against force. You use your own body, kind of like push against your hands or whatever. Okay. So
I hike a lot.
Hiking's good.
Hiking is good. I want to go back to rock climbing. That's kind of like
rock climbing. Yes. That looks scary to me, man. Like on cliffs and stuff.
Yeah. But life is scary too. So, and I want to keep living my life. Yeah. And rock climbing helped me to heal. And it's kind of like almost a way to connect your brain with your body and be in the present moment. It's kind of like a meditation. You cannot screw it up, especially you climbing outdoors. Mm-hmm. It's very different than indoors. So I want to go back to rock climbing. Yeah.
Should.
But we should hike. Would you have any, what's your favorite hike around in the Bay?
I just walk out my door and start hiking. Because we have mountains. We have mountains all over the place around where I live. So I just walk up in different areas and, just, I don't go to Tamalpais or specifically or anywhere, but I used to go to the city and do a lot of walking in San Francisco.
That's nice. We live in a place that is surrounded by mountains.
We're very fortunate. We have the beaches. We have the ocean.
We have beach. We have mountains. Mm-hmm. We have city.
Yeah.
I remember one day I saw a mountain lion. I went to the beach and then I was wearing a suit in the city. I feel the most interesting man in the world because I got all those three. I used to live in New York City. I couldn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, New York City trapped me because it's a very intense city.
Concrete jungle.
Yeah, the concrete jungle. For someone who need nature to I don't want to say disconnect. It's actually to connect with myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need nature. So I like here. That's why I like the Bay.
Yeah.
I just don't like that it's always cold most of the time.
It's cold, yeah. We get microclimates around here,
Yeah.
So, and it can get pretty chilly.
Yeah.
But the geography here is just wonderful. Like we said, you've got the mountains, you've got the ocean, you've got the cities, you've got the parks. You've got it all.
I'm thinking everything that you're saying to me. When I start this podcast, sometimes I get like, I've not done this too much. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous, which I don't think is a good thing to say as a host. I'm nervous. But this is a thing in silence. I do period of silence.
Yeah.
I think in silence there is information in silence. And you telling me all these things, and I'm thinking. Can we talk about age? Is that cool?
About age?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
How old are you?
I'm in my 60s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You look very healthy.
I'm an old man. But I feel young, which is good. And like I said, I've exercised my whole life, so.
I'm 40.
Yeah, you're still a young man.
People keep saying that. Oh, but you're still young. I say,
well, yeah.
Shit,
but it's all subjective, right? I mean, but 40s are still pretty young. I think 35 to 40 is really kind of a good time for a guy. You're kind of in your prime right around there, I think.
I keep hearing that. Maybe that's why I stopped doing stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm more sharp in my decisions. I'm very aware with who I'm connecting. Like, I love to talk to people, but I don't talk to everybody. I think we have to be careful with who we connect. And nothing against the others. It's just we need to in order to take care of ourselves, we need to take care with who we're connecting, with who we're talking. And I learned that in the hard way. Yes. And I finally learned it. I'm so blessed that I learned that before doing this. I think now I'm taking advantage of that. So yeah, but I feel good in my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I keep training and doing exercise.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I can become a potato.
Yeah, you don't want to become a potato.
Yeah.
A body in motion stays in motion, right? That old saying.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's a body in motion stays in motion. So you want to keep yourself going, because if you just sit, become a couch potato, it's not going to be good for your health. Or your head, or for your well-being, right?
Yes. Sometimes when you spend too much time sitting down and isolating, that's dangerous. You go to dark places. I keep hearing that, like, the mind is always looking for troubles or problem to resolve. So you don't have, like, I call it healthy problems. So you're not trying to resolve like problems that are going to make you better in life because you're isolating. That's dangerous. I think it's important to me to have solitude, and yes, to be by myself. I need that daily, and sometimes I need that weekly. I have my vacations on my own, but isolation is dangerous. And talking again earlier what we were saying, like, I think the social media a lot of the time unconsciously disconnect us. I was hiking another day, and I saw someone looking on the phone, which I think is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
But I think you're missing out the point. How can you tell me you're in Instagram like doing hiking? It's like, that's sick.
Yeah, when I hike or when I go to the gym or when I do yoga, I don't keep a phone with me. It's like, only time I'll keep a phone with me is if I'm going to listen to music while I'm running, or if I'm on an elliptical machine or something. But other than that, I try to stay away from the phone.
Yeah.
And the media and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You got dreams?
Do I have dreams? Yeah. Yeah, but they're simpler dreams these days than when I was a kid. My dreams now are more of just having a good life, man. Just having a good life, trying to stay healthy. And I'm very selective about who I hang around, because I want to be around positive because there's so much negative out there, especially if you watch the news and all that stuff. It's just so much negativity. I try to pare that stuff down a little bit and do more things with positive people and try to do positive things for myself because there's some things you just can't control, right?
Yeah, exactly. We get so immersed in news and concern about things that we cannot control.
Right.
If I have the power to control something, then okay, let's be worried. Let's try a solution.
Right.
But and I don't want to sound mean, but there's things happening around the world that I cannot do shit.
Right.
I think the best way or the best thing I can do as a brown Latino man is trying to do my best as a person and spread that energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my best.
I think that's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
Try to put out some positive energy. That's why I love music. It's because it's a chance to do something positive, creative, right? And connect with people that way. Because I think live music and like a band type of situation music, it's real. You know what I mean? It's people connecting and putting out their hopefully positive energy if you have it, or some people put out negative energy. It doesn't really matter, but you're being creative with your energy, and it's good for my soul.
Yes, I totally feel you. Now that you're saying that positive, negative, I was doing my I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know why. I just couldn't sleep. And now when I cannot sleep, I don't get frustrated. I say, look, I meditate. And I spent like 6 hours trying to control my brain and control my brain. And I did very good. And then this idea came to my mind. It is true that positive attract positive.
Mm-hmm.
It is true that negative attract negative.
True.
But it's also true that negative could attract positive and vice versa. I'm saying this because a lot of the time we are positive, but we unaware of negative energy. There's people who don't like to see others just be happy.
That's true.
And the worst thing that can happen to an unhappy person is just being envy. And you see that a lot because now you're unhappy and you envy. You set up the cycle of death. You're going to be unhappy forever. And yes, that's how my meditation went. but it's a way of me being aware of with who I'm going to connect.
Right.
Because we're giving our energy away. Like right now we're connecting and you could be doing something else. I could be doing something else. We decide just to have this experience and I'm enjoying it. And I hope you too.
I am, yeah.
So, but if in order to make this happen, we had to make decisions in the past that maybe some of the decisions were keep ourselves distant from negative people. At least that's the way I'm seeing myself. In order to me to be here in this present moment in the Bay Area, I had to learn to say no and to say in a very polite way, fuck off.
Right.
In a polite way.
Right.
With all due respect.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's very, very important. So I'm glad. I think now that's something that I learned in my 40s.
And you have to be aware of sharks, right? Because there's always someone out there trying to take advantage of you, right? And you know, there's scammers everywhere. So I think that's important, like you said, to try to keep positive and try not to let other people invade your happiness, basically. Yeah. If you can. Right? Yeah. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but
I think sometimes we need to become the most people are going to call it the bad person. Mm-hmm. I don't like to call it the bad person. I think good people need to have boundaries. And a lot of the time when we set up boundaries, it's uncomfortable. A lot of people don't like that. You know, and sometimes we're going to look a little bit mean. Like, for example, I still go out Friday night. but I don't stay after midnight. When people tell me after party, I said, no, that's after problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to say no. And I have friends that are excellent to hang out at night, but I don't want that my friends in my house. I don't want that friends in the other places, because I know that they and this is not judging. This is kind of like my perception. We need to protect our perception, and to me that has been key, because as you said, there is sharks, and the crazy about this idea, a lot of people are unaware of this. These sharks that are unaware that they are shark.
Oh, yeah,
that's crazy. These people doing harm and they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've all had people around us that we grew up with that caused negativity, right? I mean, I've had people I grew up with that were quote unquote friends that, you always had that negative undercurrent, but, and you always hope maybe they'll come out of it, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Right.
Yeah. I hang out a lot with I have this energy kind of like Danny, that I'm good attracting people, but I had to learn that sometimes I was attracting bees, sometimes I was attracting flies, and I got in problem with that.
Yeah.
So now I'm more exclusive, and that's how I have been able to keep my concept of happiness.
Well, sometimes you have to be stingy with your time, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't want to lose yourself. It'd be easy to do.
Yes. Oh, yes. Especially today's day, because we're so distracted to other stuff, and then we forgot to live our own life. And I had this saying, I'm very clear that time is life. And when you run out of time, life is over.
That's true.
And to me, time is much more important than money.
That's the most precious thing you have.
Yes. Money come back and forth. Times never come back. And when I do my work and I'm working for somebody else, that's how I measure. I say, this my time is worthy doing this? And if not, then I guess I'm not going to be a good quality worker. but yeah.
I read an article one time about Frank Sinatra, the singer.
Oh, yes.
Where he said he gave away some very expensive cufflinks to a fan because she was seeking him out. And the person who was with him said, "Why'd you do that? Those are so expensive. You just gave them away." He goes, "You know what? We're all everything we have, we're renting. We don't own anything, because everything I have is going to belong to someone else someday anyway. Because we're here for a certain amount of time. When your time runs out, all that material stuff goes away. It's not yours anymore. It's gone. It goes somewhere else."
Yeah. I think a lot. I have a dark thought, but it helped me. I think it's good to think about death. In the mornings when I meditate, I think about dying.
Do you?
Yes, it's creepy. And at night. And I don't live my life like it's the last day, because right now, if this is the last time of my day, I wouldn't be doing this. You're cool, but I would be doing other stuff.
I get it.
But I try to live my life like this could be the last experience, like the last time. That maybe we cannot even connect anymore. It could happen.
It could happen. Anything could happen.
Yes, I could go and have an accident.
Anything can happen.
And that's it. So I really do my best to appreciate the moment, and I achieving that by thinking about death, because it's a way to say, hey, time is running.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
Use it while you have it.
Yeah.
I'm just the opposite. I hardly ever think about death, because I don't like to dwell on it, because to me it's kind of negative, although it's just natural. It's a natural part of your life, right? You're born, you have a certain amount of time, then you die. But I don't dwell on it, which is good for me. It works for me.
Whatever works for us, I think that's the most important thing. Right. But it's good to have a time to reflect in whatever, whatever works. Me, I had a close experience to death. I said that I have been dead before, and I really feel that. That's the way I feel. I have been dead before. And something that I learned is that it's something very personal.
Do you feel like you've been reincarnated, or do you feel like you've died in this life?
I don't know. I think about this stuff. I have a very crazy idea, though, that I have been feeding. Do you think that we are in a lot of people's brain, like we are in more than one person?
You mean our spirit, our being?
Our spirit of consciousness. Like maybe you are somewhere else at this time and at this point, but because you're here right now, you're just here. But because I'm saying this because people think about reincarnation, and when I think, I don't get there. My brain doesn't get me there, but my brain made me thinking, hey, maybe I'm in somewhere else. Like my energy is in different type of people. And I'm saying this because my dreams, I have dreams that feel so real, but I feel that are happening now. And I feel very real, but they know like in this, it's like a different situation. But those are crazy stuff that I do when I'm by myself, which I think I enjoy it. My favorite part of my body is my brain. I keep saying that. I enjoy my brain. And
it's your creative part, right?
Yes. And I think that's beautiful. But this idea of a reincarnation, I don't know. I like to say I don't know. And the way that I define God, I do believe in God, but I consider myself ignorant. And I like to think about God as energy of life. That's God for me.
Yeah.
It's energy of life. I don't see anything else. And what happened after life, we don't know. And I'm okay with that idea. I'm very okay. But yeah, that was such a dark philosophical conversation right here.
I've got, if you ever want to read more about like reincarnation and things like that, there's a fellow named Edgar Casey who went into dream states, and he was supposed to be able to if you were a subject of his, he would be able to go into a dream state and unlock things that you didn't even know. But he was able to see them. You should, if you ever have a chance, read a guy named Edgar Casey about his life story. He's been dead for many, many years, but very interesting read. Very interesting read. If you're into like the whole dream state and reincarnation, it's really interesting.
Dreams are very powerful, and when I meditate, I meditate 3 times a day. And my most important meditation is at nighttime. Those are very intense. Yes. So I would check that book. Is mushrooms involved or something like that?
What's that?
Is magic mushrooms involved? That sounds like such a dream.
He wasn't. That would be more like a Carlos Castaneda type thing. But Edgar Casey, he was actually, I think he was a photographer by trade, but he just had this power that he could. People who, like, if they lost people in their lives and no one could find them, he could go into a dream state and he could find out where they went, and he could send you to them. He just had like a sixth sense, or he had some kind of, I don't know if you believe it or not, but apparently it was supposed to be, a lot of it was supposed to be true. And there's a lot of writings about him that he's a really interesting character.
So he got like superpowers.
Well, not only when he was in his dreams, only when he went down into his dream state. Then he can come out of it he went into a dream state with certain thoughts. And then when he came out of it, he'd have an answer. But when he was a regular person, he was just like me and you. He didn't have anything exceptional. It's just when he went to sleep.
I totally believe that. Totally makes sense to me. That's kind of like my experience. That's why sleep is so important, and that's why we should not go sleep with the cell phone.
Well, when you sleep, sometimes aren't you creative?
Yeah.
Don't you wake up with thoughts and then write down things? And I do.
Dalai Lama, how you say it? This guy who was I think was from India or Buddhist. Lama. There's
the Dalai Lama.
I think, and if it's not him, maybe it's Gandhi.
Okay.
And I might be wrong. But one of those philosophers say that the most important or the most powerful meditation is sleep. And I believe that because I am becoming another person, and my sleep time is sacred for me. It's the most important thing. You know, and I don't have a perfect score, but I keep creating the habit of, because habit is what is going to shape life. So I try to sleep and have my rituals when I'm sleeping, and meditation is very important. You know, so yeah,
it's probably good for your blood pressure too.
Oh yeah,
right.
You know, when I meditate, there's the stage in my life. There's a stage that I feel all my body like the blood circulating, boom, 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 and the breathing. And then when I'm breathing, I feel that I am inside my body. I have this. I believe when I grew up, my mom, I have a very mean mom. No, yeah. Like I have a very fucked up childhood, like fucked up.
I had a grandma like that.
Oh, really? Oh, I was so fucked up. Very, very bad. My mom used to say every single day for years, "You are an animal. I don't know what I gave you born."
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't know I reprogrammed my way that way. I have a dark past, and I have to do a lot because of that. So I have a conclusion. I said, I am an animal, or I am inside an animal. I think we are animals.
Yeah.
But we are inside an animal, but we are spirit inside an animal, so we can live this experience on earth. And our brain and our body is wild. And when you conscious, that means you are spiritual. That's to me, spirituality is consciousness. When you're conscious, you realize that. You say, oh, a lot of the stuff that are happening is my animal instinct. And I need, as someone who's living in this body, time that beast. And that's why I'm all about discipline. That's why I need to control my beast. I get sadness. I know this is my body. That's okay. I'm human. But as a human, I'm an animal. So I need to connect with my spirit and keep timing that animal. So this was a great way to heal what my mom used to, tell me for years. And that's the way I think. Like I wake up every morning. I don't have a perfect score, but I try to do my best every day. And if I feel happy, I do what I'm supposed to do. And if I feel sad, I do what I said I was going to do. I ignore a lot of my feelings because I know a lot of the times we are animals. And yeah, I think that's why people get in trouble. People who are not disciplined, they just have the animal on leash. The beast is on leash doing all the kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, your parents do have a profound effect on you, right? Like I had a great mom and dad. They were really awesome. Couldn't have better. My grandmother, she was the same way with me that your mom was with you. She was just, you wonder why they have so much, almost like hate towards you. It's like, wow. And they don't even know why. She didn't even know why. Because when she got older, she apologized to me. She goes, I don't know why I was like that with you. It's like, well, the shark,
the unconscious shark.
Yeah. But, you just can't let that hold you back, right?
Exactly. We need to be responsible. Assume responsibility. Whatever happened, like to me, I had so many excuses to be the victim because I was a victim as a kid. Yeah. And then I learned, look, I can be the victim. That's okay. I think I have that right. But I'm never going to achieve anything as a victim mindset.
You're right.
So I have, yeah.
No, you don't want that mentality. The victim mentality is a bad mentality because you're always working from a negative place.
Yes.
Like you're oppressed all the time, instead of picking yourself up and doing something with your time and with your energy and with your natural talents. Because everyone has some kind of a talent if they're willing to forge it, you know?
That's our gift. That's our superpower.
Yeah. Well, that's what separates us from most other animals, right?
Yeah.
Because we can think about things and we can move forward. We could have a goal and move forward towards that goal as long as we have a will.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Hank, this is cool.
Yeah.
You see, I'm learning so much.
Well, I think what you're going to be learning soon is how to play guitar better, right? Because you're going to be taking guitar lessons pretty soon, right?
You know that
you've got the guitar and you're set.
In the same way that this podcast started like building up, I'm seeing like, oh my God, I'm gonna be myself in the guitar. Which that's why when I saw you, I hear your music, I was so in love because when I was a kid, my first band, it was Metallica.
Oh yeah.
And you know that guitar,
I've seen them.
Yeah. And then when you play, it's like, oh. And now I have no excuse. I have 2 guitars.
Sure.
Danny gave me one.
Yeah, I saw that. Beautiful one. That blue
beautiful.
One. Yeah.
There's people around me who are musicians who are willing to teach me.
Sure.
I just gotta put the hours.
And just pick it up. If you only have 10 minutes a day,
I keep
pick
hearing
it up for
that.
10 minutes a day. Learn that first couple of chords, 1 or 2 chords, 1 or 2 scales. If it's a guitar that you like, maybe you like to sing too. Who knows? I mean,
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had that in a schedule. I already got the guitar. I clean it.
Yeah.
So I think by next month, I need to start putting my time.
Well, you'll know when it's right because you'll want it. You'll feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll feel it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think music's a healing thing. It's good. It's like we said earlier. It's got it's got a bit of a magic to it.
Because connection.
Yeah.
Everybody sync and creating something.
Right.
To me, to me, happiness is an ability. Happiness is an ability to grow, create, and connect.
Right.
If you're missing one of those, we're unhappy. And I have been unhappy a lot of the time. I think it's okay. I don't need to be happy all the time. I'm learning. But I'm pursuing that. Connect, create, and grow. So through music, I can create, I can connect. And if I match those 2, then I can grow. So music makes us happy.
Right. Now, look at my band. Look, we're all just totally different people in a lot of ways. But when we connect together, we're like a unit. We put out music. We put out good energy together, and it's kind of like a little family. It's good.
Yeah, I feel the good vibe when you guys.
It's a good vibe. Yeah,
it's a family.
It's a little family, a sub-family, and these are really good people that we play with. So it keeps us continuing because we want to be here.
Yeah. Well, I heard you guys are going to be recording some songs
next week. We'll be recording probably at least a couple.
I want to be there so I can see Robert. Robert, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, Robert's a good man.
Yes, that
talented
awesome.
Man too. Good.
Always make me laugh.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe. Talking about good people and good and positive people. Mm-hmm. Robert. Yeah,
Robert would be a good podcast for you in the future.
I'm glad that you're saying it. You heard that, Robert? Because I had the same idea. Yes, Robert. We're waiting for you. Yes, I will find you. Yeah.
And then when we record those songs, I understand you're going to be putting together another video for us, which is awesome.
Yes. That's a project.
It's going to be a creative video this time, a different creation.
That's a project.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
It's always fun working with you.
Likewise. You guys, when I'm working around you, make me feel that I'm living life.
Oh, yeah.
I feel alive. So it's totally good time. It's worth it to be here with you guys and with you. So I hope after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't know, 1,000 years, we can look at this and remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So. If hopefully it's still out there, right?
Somewhere. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe AI can help us. You heard Elon Musk had this chip. He put a chip in his brain.
Yeah, Elon Musk came up with that. Yeah.
What a MF! Wow.
Yeah, but he did it for people that didn't have the ability to do certain things. But it's going to end up being in everybody, the government would like to do that, put it in everybody, and then they could...
The military.
Yeah.
Do you imagine you being a soldier, now with a chip? You're a killer machine.
Let's face it, you're carrying around a phone all the time, so you're tracked anyway.
Yeah.
We're all tracked.
Yeah.
It's like having a chip in you already.
Very exciting time. I don't want that chip. I'm recognizing for a lot of stuff that I'm old school. Like the way that my brain is wired. I'm just a caveman. And I want to stay like a caveman.
Oh, I don't want any chips in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't need any extra issues.
The only chips that I wanted to...
Yeah. Good chips with a little dip, right? Yeah, like salsa, whatever.
I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Should we call it a...
Sure.
Something else you would like to say?
I don't think so. I think we've had a good conversation.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right. Okay,
man.
So I hope you enjoy In Broken English. And I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
We good. Yeah, that's it, man. Cool. All right.
That was fun.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. We
kind of went into some weird places.